Hello and welcome to Oute's 2017 Summit Kickoff. This is a broadcast audio call and will go from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific, so be sure to turn up the speakers or headsets on your computer. We're going to ask for your active participation during the call, so we will have some polls which we would love for you to respond to. We will leave some time at the end of the session for questions and answers, so use the chat function within your platform. And this call will be recorded and available as a digital archive after the session. A few upcoming announcements at Oute. Coming up on March 8th will be our town call session with global perspectives on Mexico. March 21st will be our Building Bridges to LGBT Cultural Competency 101. This will be a 1-hour fee-for-service webinar. You can find out more information on our website. March 27th through 29th will be our Executive Forum, which will then culminate on March 29th with Momentum, Oute's annual Leadership Gala and Celebration. March 30th will be our monthly town call on self-ID. And of course, October 9th through 12th will be the 2017 Oute Workplace Summit in Philadelphia. A bit more on Momentum. We hope that you can all join us on March 29th. We'll have the infamous Pointer Sisters as entertainment, the always funny Kate Clinton, and our celebrity auctioneer will be Scott Nevins. And of course, at Momentum, we honor the Champion Awards, honoring distinguished groups of leaders who have demonstrated their ongoing commitment to LGBT workplace equality. With that, it's my honor to introduce our founder and Chief Executive Officer, Celeste Berry.
Thank you, Daniel, and hello everyone, and welcome again to the 2017 Oute Workplace Summit Kickoff Call. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have over 400 multinational companies and government agencies represented on this call today, so thanks so much for being here. Whenever we launch a new summit, I always think back to our very first summit in Atlanta, and we were so excited to be gathering nearly 200 people from around the country, a long ways from the 4,500 attendees we're expecting in Philadelphia this year from around the globe. But in so many ways, it was really an awesome first summit until the outside AV companies started setting up for the gala, which actually was a little bit more like a talent show that first year. But once they learned that we were an LGBT event, they looked around the room and they put down the lights and they put down their equipment and they left the building. Well, we scrambled, and of course, and found a more friendly AV company very last minute. But I'll never forget how sure I was in that moment that I was doing the exact right thing by starting Oute. And of course, here we are 20 years later, and we have so much to celebrate. And as the national climate is changing, I'm reminded again of how important this work is. So thank you for joining us in it. Thank you for being on this call, and thank you for championing LGBT equality in your workplace. We could not do this work without you. We're going to have a fabulous summit this year. I look forward to seeing you at Momentum in San Francisco, and definitely look forward to seeing all of you in Philadelphia. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Celeste. Our agenda for today, we've made some brief welcomes. We're going to talk about how you can best use and share this call with your teams. We'll talk about what's new for the Workplace Summit in 2017. We'll go over our key dates and locations of events. We'll talk about our Outie Awards, an opportunity to become a summit sponsor, the registration process, housing. We'll talk about the workshop application process, and then how you can best create your company's summit strategy. And of course, at the end, we'll leave some time for Q&A. With that, I'd like to introduce Rachel Rubin, our Deputy Director.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, everybody, for joining us on the call. We're going to start a little bit with how to use and share the call. So this deck and the audio that goes with it will be archived on the website on the Summit section. You'll see the link at the top. So you can share portions of the deck if you'd like, or you can just go back and reference the whole call if that's easier. Ideally, this call and the deck that goes with it are great reference points for key dates and locations, your registration information, the Outie Awards, and workshops. We're going to be doing a really deep dive into workshops later in the call, so we're always going to help direct folks back to this deck to have a good sense of how to get your workshop accepted this year. We also want to consider encouraging you to share this call and the deck with your company summit planning team. At the end of the call, Stephen Huey is going to be talking about creating your summit strategy. And part of that is developing a summit planning team at your company and helping all of them get together and engage with the call. We know that some years employee resource groups do a lunch and learn where they all watch the call together and then brainstorm what their plan is to engage fully with Summit. So we're going to do a poll. So tell us if you attended the Workplace Summit in Orlando, Dallas, San Francisco, Minneapolis, Baltimore, Los Angeles, or Orlando, or if you haven't attended a summit before. So I see the numbers are coming in. It looks like we have most folks on the call have been to Summit before, although we have quite a few newcomers. And it looks like Orlando in 2016 is the winner right now. But we have a few people prior to 2009, so welcome back. All right. We'll talk a little bit about what's new this year in 2017. So the first is that we're in Philadelphia. We are really thrilled to be in this city of brotherly love. We are also really excited to be in such a hub of the U.S.'s corporate culture. So both Philadelphia, D.C., New York, really easily accessible on the East Coast. We're hearing a lot from companies about expanding their attendance block this year because it's such a great opportunity to get folks in for just one day or the whole conference. We are back to a Monday through Thursday pattern. So the dates are October 9th through 12th, which we'll show in a moment. Last year, you might remember, we switched to a Tuesday through Friday pattern. We're back to Monday, Leadership Day, Tuesday through Thursday being the summit. This year, we're going to have significantly increased networking opportunities. We've gotten some feedback that there is a lot of interest in connection opportunities within industries, within demographic groups, within regions. And so take a look out for new networking opportunities. When you hear from our development team a little later in the call, you're going to hear how your company can be a bigger part of those opportunities. We'll have a recruitment thread this year as well. We are lucky to be in a city that has quite a lot of universities. So we're engaging with MBA students and universities all over the city, as well as, again, in New York, D.C., and a lot of the areas where folks can come in on the train and encourage recruitment opportunities, especially from non-conference attendees. So take a look out for that. We're going to have elevated curated workshops. So what we mean by that is making sure that we have the right space for the right workshop. So we love having that standing room only, but we know that we want everyone that wants to be in a workshop space to have a room there. So we're going to be drilling down and asking some questions to you all a little bit later to learn more about what people are interested in so we can make sure that we have the right space. We're also going to be paying a really close attention to having the right number of advanced workshops. So as we saw kind of in the slide before, we have a ton of people that are coming back for their second, third, fourth, fifth year at Summit. So we want to make sure there's new content and really advanced content for our experts in diversity and inclusion. You'll see a lot more global programming this year, starting with a global leadership dinner on Monday night, our global leadership day, Monday during the day, and throughout the global track and global networking opportunities. So we are really excited about all the global leadership opportunities that will happen at Summit this year. And we'll have a focus on the changing national climate. So we know that something on everyone's mind is how things in the U.S. are shifting with the new administration. And we'll have tracks both in Leadership Day and throughout the summit for people to have an opportunity to talk through how things are changing at their companies or in their lives and how we can support each other over the next 4 years. So a lot new happening in 2017. So there are some key dates and locations. We are at the Philadelphia Convention Center this year in downtown Philadelphia. That is a little bit of a shift from the last few years where we've been at Hotel Conference Center. So we've gotten a lot bigger and we're thrilled about it, but it will have a little bit of a different feel. So pay close attention when Annalicia is talking to you about housing, because housing is going to be a little trickier and we're going to ask for your help getting booked a little further in advance since we're at the Convention Center this year. June 14th, our early bird registration ends. It's live today. You're going to hear more about that in a moment. But we encourage you to take advantage of that early bird rate, which will happen between today and June 14th. On September 16th is our other registration rate change. So those rates are only going to change twice this year, once at that early bird rate on the 14th, and then one more time on the 16th. On May 12th, our workshop submission deadline will happen, so you'll have ample time to get those workshops in, and you'll hear more about how to do that. That's also live today. And both of those are on the website, which I think will be covered in registration and workshops in a moment. On June 3rd is our Outie nomination deadline, also live today. You can pull up those Outie nominations on the website and start applying and nominating folks, and we'll have time later in the call to take a deeper dive into Outies. On July 1st is our exhibit hall booth deadline. That's both for sponsors that receive an exhibit hall booth within their sponsorship to confirm that they're going to be using it. It's also if you would like to purchase an exhibit hall booth this year. That is the deadline. August 1st is that sponsor advertising deadline. And sponsors will get a kit with all of this detailed information in it as well. And then October 9th is our Leadership Day, and October 10th through 12th is the Out and Equal Workplace Summit. You'll hear about a few more dates throughout the call, but these are some of the key ones that we want to get on your calendar. So I am now delighted to introduce Maddison LeRoy, who is going to talk to you about the Outie Awards.
Thank you, Rachel. Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to share with you all some information around the coveted Out and Equal Outie Awards. So the Outies are awarded at the Workplace Summit and recognize individuals, organizations, and companies that are leaders in advancing workplace equality for LGBT people around the world. We have found that individuals and companies that have been nominated or won an Outie experience incredible visibility that highlights the tremendous work they're doing for diversity and inclusion in their workplaces. Overall, participating in the Outie Awards significantly increases your company's visibility as an out and equal place to work. The award process consists of a selection committee that determines the finalists based on nominations throughout the year. Then an independent panel of business and community leaders decide the winners based on information and references provided for each finalist. So now we'll take a quick poll, and now that you have a little idea of what the Outies are, do you know someone who you might nominate for an Outie Award? So yes, no, or yes, you can nominate yourself. And make sure to click submit so you can see everyone else's answers as well. So it's looking like yes. Most of you are seeing yes, you have somebody that you can nominate. No, well, maybe not yet. Make sure to share the Outie Awards with your team and internally. I'm sure that someone on your team knows somebody that they can nominate. Awesome. Looking really great. So there are 3 different Outies you can nominate or be nominated for. The first is the LGBT Employee Resource Group of the Year Award, and this award recognizes a particular employee resource group that has a proven track record of success in advocating for LGBT equal rights in the workplace. The judges are looking at how your ERG has pushed policy and culture forward at your company. Is your ERG focused on influencing diversity at work? Does your ERG work with other ERGs and focus groups at your company? Let us know and nominate your ERG. The second award is the Champion Award, and this recognizes any LGBT person or ally that has made a significant contribution to advancing workplace equality. The Champion Award winner will have shown a unique commitment to LGBT workplace rights and will have used their talents to further that cause, even at some risk. So consider nominating a senior leader at your company that has made a real difference in their position to make LGBT equality a priority at your company. And finally is the Workplace Excellence Award. And this award recognizes an employer that has a historic and ongoing commitment to pursuing and executing workplace equality for LGBT employees in their workplace. This employer has a history of continually raising the bar of workplace equality for others to follow. Judges are really looking for companies that have gone above and beyond in their industry or region to make a real difference for the LGBT employees and constituents. companies that are looking at their internal culture and then using their voice externally to make a difference in the world. If you feel like you're wanting to nominate someone for an Outie, you can do so at this link, also available on our website under the Workplace Summit page. The nomination deadline for Outie Awards is June 3rd, so make sure to mark your calendars. Now I will turn the call over to Stephen Huey, Director of Corporate Engagement, and Dave Boucher, Senior Manager of Corporate Engagement, who will share sponsorship opportunities for 2017.
Thank you, Maddie, and hello, everyone. First, I want to thank all of our past sponsors and acknowledge the companies that have already renewed their sponsorship commitment for 2017. Your support is very much appreciated, and we look to you as true partners in our continued success. Our corporate engagement team works closely with Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies, as well as government agencies, and more than 95% of our sponsors return year after year. Our past sponsors have told us they recognize the benefits of partnering with Out and Equal because we help leverage opportunities for increased visibility and branding as an LGBT employer of choice and provide a full schedule of educational and informational programming, leadership development, and empowerment for LGBT employees and LGBT allies. So Stephen, let's do a couple quick polls.
Sure. Thank you, Dave. So this first poll is, has your company sponsored the Workplace Summit in the past? And if you could select not yet, 1 year, 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10, more than 10, or if you're not sure. And if someone could review the results since I don't have access to that.
Sure, this is Daniel. So we have about half of you that responded so far. So we're seeing quite a few who aren't quite sure, about 20% who have not yet sponsored. So amazing to see over 20% have sponsored more than 5 years. Just shy of 10% have sponsored more than 10 years. And a few new folks just at 1 year. And we thank you all so much for your support.
Great. Thank you, Daniel. That's great to know. The next poll we can actually pass on because it's something that Rachel covered at the top of the call where we had great attendance at Orlando. But as you can see, there are several other cities that we were in the past. And so thank you for all of you who have attended the Workplace Summit. So let's go to the next slide, and I'll turn to Dave, who will talk about Workplace Summit sponsorship levels.
Okay, so there are 5 primary levels of sponsorship available for the 2017 Workplace Summit, beginning at the top with presenting at $105,000, followed by Titanium $85,000, Gold at $65,000, Champion at $40,000, and Advocate at $25,000. For government agencies, we offer a government-only package at $15,000, and the premier level is available to first-time sponsors only at $10,000. These sponsor levels are designed to provide top billing for hosted and branded events. There are 3-day registrations to complement overall participation, ad and logo placement in the program book, the summit wall, our website, and other materials. This allows companies to showcase the work of their ERG and their company's contributions toward advancing LGBT workplace equality. Stephen and I and the corporate engagement team are available to discuss sponsor levels and benefits in detail. And these discussions are important so we can learn more about your company needs and for us to provide additional information regarding the impact of being a summit sponsor.
Next slide. And so as Dave mentioned, understanding sponsor needs is very important to us. And this poll is designed to help us better understand the aspects of what is most critical to you and your company at Summit. So brand and visibility, company and employee recognition, employee and executive engagement, education and development, applicable tools and best practices. And Daniel, I'll turn to you.
Yeah, so we're seeing the results coming in. We're about a third of you, so go ahead and click your choices and hit submit. We're seeing about half of you are really looking at brand and visibility, another half looking at education and development, about 25% on employee recognition, and about 35% on executive engagement. So thank you all for sharing your results with us.
Great. Thanks for that. It's really interesting to see the amount of interest in employee and executive engagement, because the summit certainly is a place to convene employees from across your company. So Dave, next slide please.
And as I mentioned earlier, based on your company's level of sponsorship, standard benefits include complimentary 3-day registrations, program book advertisement and or logo placement, and for all but the premier level, a booth in the Engagement Center and additional branding opportunities. As you can see, presenting, titanium, gold, and champion sponsors receive complimentary access to ticketed events such as the government, HR, and women's leadership breakfasts. Presenting, titanium, and gold sponsors also receive complimentary registrations to our annual signature event, the Executive Forum. There are 3 general session plenary events: the opening brunch, power lunch, and gala dinner. Each includes branding opportunities and invitations to special events and receptions. Some events for branding include Leadership Day, the ticketed breakfast, the executive luncheon, VIP reception, the board meet and greet, and our summit night out. So whether you're new to Out and Equal or a longtime sponsor ready to renew, the corporate engagement team is available to discuss selections that will work best for you and your company.
Next slide. For the company branding and visibility, we know that that is key for all of our Workplace Summit sponsors. With over 4,100 attendees, 100 sponsors, and over 300 companies in attendance last year, the Workplace Summit is a unique opportunity to celebrate your commitment to diversity and inclusion, LGBT equality, and reinforce your reputation as an employer dedicated to affecting change. There are many ways to brand your company, and we welcome the opportunity to explore these options in detail. On the next slide, beyond the booth space in the Engagement Center sets the Workplace Summit apart from other conferences in that we offer the opportunity for companies to promote their values, products, and brand in a creative and LGBT-focused way. Many sponsors involve their marketing and creative teams to produce an elevated and memorable presence in the Engagement Center. Upgrades to a larger booth space, company receptions, company office space, and hosted industry events are also available. Finally, save the dates. There are several upcoming calls and Workplace Summit events for you to save the date. We'll be sending out emails to provide you with a list of these dates, but on March 22nd, we'll be taking an in-depth look at the Summit sponsor opportunities, including why companies should sponsor, what's included with each sponsorship level, and how to become a new sponsor or upgrade as a returning sponsor. Then on April 4th and 5th, we'll be in Philadelphia. We'll be in Philadelphia for a site visit at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. And we will also be there on the 5th, where we are going to host a Summit Kickoff cocktail reception for existing and potential sponsors, local ERG members, and details to follow on that event. And then on August 10th, we're having a Summit workshop and presenters call. And then right before Summit, Know Before You Go, for all sponsors headed to Summit. And now I'll turn this back to Madison.
Thank you, Stephen. So I'm going to talk a little bit about registration, and I'm happy to announce that registration is live today. So after this call, you can go ahead to outandequal.org and start your registration process. If you have any questions regarding registration, please refer to the contact information here. And this will be available after the call as well. So we have 3 rate periods this year: early bird registration, regular, and final. Early bird registration is effective immediately and ends on June 14th, so make sure to mark your calendars. And you can see the deadlines for the regular rate ending on 16th and the final rate on October 1st. This year we also have 2 rate structures, the standard corporate rate and the government rate. If you are a government employee and have a .gov email address, the system will automatically recognize your email and grant you access to achieve the discounted government rate. Full conference registration is an all-access pass to the conference. However, we do offer a Thursday one-day-only package if you would like to bring a guest to the gala dinner Thursday evening. For companies registering more than 10 full conference registrations, please contact the Summit registration desk at the email or phone numbers listed on the previous slide and ask for a group registration template. Now I will briefly walk through the registration site and getting your process started. So once you reach the landing page, to start a new registration, simply click Start New Registration. If you are part of a sponsor company and you have received a complimentary registration code, you will be prompted at this time to enter your code. Additionally, if you have already purchased a registration item but would like to modify your selection, for example, you now want to attend the Women's Breakfast, which is a ticketed event, you can log into your account at any time and make additional purchases. Also available on the registration site are links to the hotel block and a FAQ page with in-depth details about the summit. This FAQ page and hotel block information can also be found on outenequal.org under the Workplace Summit page. I'll now turn it over to Annalicia Hawkins, Events Associate, who will share hotel and housing accommodations.
Great. Thank you, Madison. So I'll go ahead and talk to you about housing at this year's summit. I will be going over the list of properties, the map, and the booking process to make the housing experience go as smoothly as possible. We encourage you to make your hotel reservation as soon as possible to ensure you will have a room for the Workplace Summit. The anchor properties for the 2017 Workplace Summit are the Philadelphia Marriott Downtown, the Courtyard Philadelphia Downtown, and the Lowe's. In addition to these main properties, we have 8 other properties with smaller room blocks available. Those include the Sheraton Philadelphia Downtown, the Meridian, Home 2 Suites by Hilton, Aloft Philadelphia, Hampton Inn Philadelphia Convention Center, Hilton Garden Inn Philadelphia, the Holiday Inn Express, Midtown, and the Residence Inn Philadelphia. Here is the housing map, which shows the proximity of each hotel to the Pennsylvania Convention Center, which is where the Workplace Summit will be held. As you can see, all of our properties are close to the Convention Center, and the 3 main properties will be the closest. So we encourage you to reserve a room at the 3 main properties if possible. To access our group block, you can make reservations with the links available on the Out and Equal website, our registration website, and contained in the confirmation email once you have registered for the conference. The room rates will vary by property, and we do have a very limited number of government rooms available. For delegations exceeding 10 people, you can request a group housing block managed by Out and Equal. If you're interested in doing so, please contact Tony Talbot, our Out and Equal CFO, at ttalbot@outenequal.org to start the LOU process. For more information regarding housing, please contact me at annaliciah@outenequal.org. Now I'm going to pass it over to Isabel to talk more about workshops.
Hello, everyone. So let's get to workshops, a very exciting part of Summit, my favorite. So how to get accepted. First thing is you want to make sure that your workshop relates content to workplace equality. There's a very limited number of openings for workshops around professional development, so your proposal will have a much stronger chance of being accepted if it relates specifically to LGBT workplace diversity and inclusion. You would also like to make sure that you are presenting a new workshop. So consider proposing something that hasn't previously been offered at Summit. If you do want to go ahead and propose something you've done before, make sure that you change your proposal to reflect any updates, changes and takeaways, that type of thing. If you have an advanced course that you've taught a few times and would like to explore Leadership Day opportunities, please email me directly and I'll share my email address in a second. You also want to make sure that the workshop proposal provides concrete and substantive takeaways. So our highly rated workshops usually include some sort of supplementary material like a handout. Any proposals that clearly articulate the takeaways are going to have a much higher acceptance rate. You should also strive to include presenters from multiple organizations. Our strongest workshops tend to include voices and perspectives from more than one company. So you should consider inviting colleagues at other organizations to join you in leading the workshop and in sharing best practices. Finally, you want to make sure that you can present dynamically. Most workshops are probably best formatted as panels. Others are better as lectures, debates, roundtables, or other equally creative formats. So think outside of the box. I'd also like to share Out and Equal's education principles. We are very committed to diversity here, and we seek to promote a diverse group of presenters and workshops that reflect our partners and our Workplace Summit audience. We specifically want to pay attention to the workplace experiences of LGBT, people of color, transgender people, and bisexual people. The Workplace Summit is renowned for the education opportunities it provides, and our focus on peer-to-peer education, centering those who are working in Fortune 1000 companies or the federal government, really allows for the sharing of best practices from those actually living and working on issues of LGBT workplace equality. And finally, another education principle is our focus, like I said, on LGBT workplace equality. We do offer opportunities for networking and professional development. Rachel mentioned at the top of the call that we're going to have expanded opportunities for networking, but the bulk of Summit is really dedicated to sharing best practices in order to create and sustain inclusive workplaces. So you want to make sure that you keep these principles in mind as you craft your proposal. As you submit a workshop proposal, please complete the proposal in full. The more information you provide, the better we are situated to understand and place the session into the program. So please be sure to complete all sections of the proposal. You also want to make sure that you list all the presenters that will be included in the workshop. We've provided an opportunity in the registration to list multiple presenters and their bios. So again, workshop proposals that include all this information are have a much higher acceptance rate. And very important, you also want to make sure that you accurately identify the level of your workshop. Please take great care to note if your workshop is for beginners, intermediate, or advanced participants. Sometimes folks can overlean towards identifying as advanced, so please review the criteria in each category and check the box that best matches your content. We really want to have a full option for all three of these levels. As for the workshop deadlines, Rachel already mentioned, and I'm trying to, excuse me one second as I come back here to our key dates and locations, want to make sure that our workshop submission deadline is May 12th. We will also be having a workshop presenter town call on August 10th. And I'll make sure to reflect those dates in the PDF that we send out at the end of this call. Of course, if you have any questions about workshops, please feel free to post those on the web and on the chat feature, and I'll be sure to respond to those. And now I'm going to turn it over to Stephen, who's going to ask you a couple more polls.
Thank you, Isabel. So the next question is around planning for Summit. Will your company create a Summit planning committee? And Daniel?
Okay, the polls are coming in. We've got about half of you that have answered so far. And we're seeing the overwhelming majority, about 50%, saying that yes, you will be creating a Summit Planning Committee, always a good idea. About 20% who say that no, you're not going to, and about 31% of you who aren't quite sure, so it might want to be something that you consider.
Thank you for that. If you're not quite sure, that is something that we're happy to talk to you about. So please please make sure that's part of the discussion as we explore opportunities to become a sponsor. The next poll is asking if you think your company will host a special event or a meeting for your company attendees.
Great, and the responses are coming in. Once again, we have about half of you so far, so keep putting in those answers. All right, and we're seeing about 50% of you who say that yes, you will be hosting a special meeting, about 20% who say no, and about 30% who say you're not sure but you would like to. So thank you.
Okay, that's good to know as well. So it's another opportunity to discuss special events or meetings when we take a closer look at how we can partner with you at Summit. Leading your company Summit strategy is really an important opportunity, and many factors need to be considered: determining attendees, securing housing, planning company meetings and events that we just spoke about, and also creating a Summit playbook or developing a post-Summit execution plan. These important considerations for all sponsors include who will be representing your company at Summit. You know, ERG leaders, ERG members, HR and diversity and inclusion professionals, allies, executives, because determining the size of your delegation for Summit and Leadership Day will also impact housing needs, the engagement center booth staffing, and planning on-site company meetings and events. Many sponsors create a Summit playbook for all attendees so that within their company they know what workshop selections have been made, they know what events their employees are participating in, and at the end of Summit or post-Summit, debriefs are also planned, and they take place sometimes on site to prepare for ways in which to really activate the takeaways and company next steps. And it's a rare opportunity for many companies where executives and employees from across the company are together. So that post-Summit execution opportunity is key. And now I think we're turning to Q&A.
All right, a lot of great feedback coming in already, and please keep those questions coming in the chat box. Your feedback is important to us. The first questions I have are around registration, and it's, can I register my whole company at once, and when can I register?
You can register starting today because we are now live for the early bird rate, and you can register your entire company if you email our registration help desk. We can send you a template to get all of the necessary information.
Great, thank you. The next question is around the exhibit hall or engagement center. When can I purchase my exhibit hall booth?
You could begin today. If you would like to purchase a booth, you can email Alyssa Jarvis at ajarvis@outenequal.org, and it is also listed on our website.
Great. This next question will be near and dear to Madison's heart, and it's asking, is there going to be an app again this year?
Excellent question. There will absolutely be a mobile app this year for the Summit. We are working very closely to create some very exciting new features in the mobile app this year. So be on the lookout. You will be notified of when that app is ready to be downloaded and accessed.
Great, thank you. This next question will be for Stephen and Dave. My company wants to host a B2B or business-to-business reception for clients at Summit, and how can we help with that?
This is Stephen. So I think the best thing to do, depending if your company works with Dave or myself, and if you're a first-time sponsor, then please contact me. However, I think the best way to look at it is for us to have a discussion around what your vision is. You know, the timing and planning, the size, the scale, the scope, all of that is really important. So that is available to you. We offer the industry network receptions generally at the gold level and above. but I'm happy to discuss opportunities and how that might work for you.
Fantastic. This next one I'm going to point back to Dave, and it's actually pertaining to Momentum, our leadership gala, and is it still possible to purchase a table? This person says they love the Pointer Sisters.
Oh, who is asking that question? That is excellent. Yes, there are definitely opportunities for tables, and it's really going to be an incredible event, so you'll definitely want to be part of it. Maybe somebody from the events team can give an idea of best next steps.
So we do have a site where you can reserve a table for Momentum, and it's our Pick-a-Tick site, so you can go on our website and see the link for that. So that should be able to, there's still tables available for that.
Great. So the next question is regarding workshops. Can I submit more than one workshop?
Absolutely. Just make sure that you submit them by May 12th.
Great. So this next question relates to sponsorship and asking if there are any changes to registration rates for current sponsors.
So as a sponsor, there aren't changes to, well, let me explain it this way. We haven't changed the number of complimentary registrations that are available at the different levels. And we, of course, will speak with you about that in detail. With our registration rates, and I actually have to turn to Rachel, if you would. I thought I'm pretty certain that we stayed flat.
Yeah, we did. We stayed pretty flat year over year. And as Stephen mentioned, there are different benefits at different sponsorship levels to help encourage partnership and large attendee blocks.
But I would just add that that's why when we look at the level of sponsorship, it's really important to understand what your expectations are in terms of attendance. And it's good to be able to evaluate if the complimentary registrations that are included are sufficient, and also to look at the timing of our registration rates if you're purchasing individual registration rates to complement what's included in the sponsorship. So it's a good question, but it's something that I think we have to discuss in detail based on your needs and expectations.
Great. The next questions are with regard to housing, asking if it's possible to get a list of the housing rates and if there's any sort of promotion code in order to access the housing blocks.
Yes, we will be listing the room rates by hotel on the website, so check back for that. And we don't have any sort of promo code, but we do have our room blocks, so I would encourage you to reserve through the link on the website and not through the hotels themselves.
The next question is around volunteer opportunities, and perhaps someone can speak on that. Yes, so if you're interested in volunteering, that will be me. This is Annalicia speaking. You can email me at annaliciah@outenequal.org if you're interested in volunteering. We do need about 300 volunteers total for Summit, so we are always looking for people who are interested in volunteering. We have a lot of different shifts available, so thank you for that question. The next question is around branding opportunities with regard to the mobile app.
Yes, fantastic question. The short answer is yes. There will be branding opportunities within the mobile app. If you are a sponsor, I would say check with your Out and Equal sponsor contact just to verify that your contract does include branding opportunities in the mobile app. Okay, the next question is around the
sponsor opportunities at the premier level as a first-time sponsor, and asking if a booth comes with that level of sponsorship.
Dave, you got that?
For the premier level, we do not have a booth available. This level is for companies who kind of want to, get in the door and do more, have people represent the company physically. But we do have a logo wall that would be included, as well as the video reel and sponsor wall. And as one of my colleagues said, you can purchase booth space separately.
Great, thank you. A few questions coming in if there's going to be a career fair component this year.
Sure. So we're still navigating the skeleton schedule of the summit, but stay tuned. We're absolutely going to have recruiting and career fair-ish opportunities, potentially a formal fair. We're reaching out to universities to gauge timing on that. So stay tuned.
Great. Well, we want to thank all of you for your questions and feedback. If there's something which we did not address, we will make sure to include that in the follow-up message, which you will receive after the call. That will also include a link to the recording, and we encourage you to share this with your teams as you're doing your summit planning. With that, I'd like to open it up to the panel for any closing comments which you might have, and why don't we go ahead and begin with Rachel.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We are really looking forward to seeing you in Philadelphia. And it is really the folks on this call and that are ambassadors for the conference. So we so appreciate your time and investment this early on. And everybody that you heard speak today is here to help you and make this a really phenomenal experience for you and your company.
Great. Anyone else have any closing comments? Okay, hearing none, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining the call today. As Rachel said, please feel free to reach out to us for any questions you might have. A great deal of information is available on our website at www.outenequal.org, and we look forward to seeing each and every one of you in October in Philadelphia. Have a great day.